Hey, everybody, welcome again to the Underground Gospel Show. I'm going to pull up my little housekeeping list right now. We had some friends visiting just a little while ago who were like, "Why aren't you answering your phone?" And it was like, "Because I just did my pre show." And they're like, "Well, we didn't know where you were." "Well, I'm here." "Well, we watched your pre show." It's like, "But then you know where I am." Anyway. Hey, welcome to the Underground Gospel Show. We have so much going on. Today has just been crazy, crazy, crazy. This entire week as we're getting ready to go on the road. I mean, it starts this weekend, June 5th, J5. I mean, here we go. 6521. And this is why you don't keep your phone on, by the way, because I told my friends, I said, "Oh, I didn't turn," well, they're like, "Why don't you have your phone on?" Because I'm not leashed to it, but I guess I am because I turned it on for them and then I forgot to turn it off. So here it is buzzing me. Anyway, this is a safe place to hang out. And my friends left because they went to go look at a house, which is kind of cool. Anyway, so this is a safe place to hang out. There's no swearing or trolling on the chat line if you're doing that. If you like what you hear, please remember to subscribe, whatever channel you're watching on. We are on, and I just had these new cards brought up. So see, woo, aren't these cool? Anyway, but we're on Twitch and we're on Facebook Live and we're on YouTube Live. And the back of the card has QR codes, and I'm handing these out. This is how we used to flyer in San Diego, and they make really good ways to remember. And people are like, "Well, your cards are so big, you have to fold them to put them in my pocket." And it's like, yes, but then you don't wash them accidentally because they're too big. Anyway, so and you remember, oh, I should go check that out. So that's why we have bigger cards. Anyway, so we're going to be handing those out tomorrow. We tomorrow morning starts early. I pack up the van tonight actually, and we hit the road right around sunrise. And I have some laundry to do because I should show you this. I want to make sure that these shirts that I'm sorry to show you this, but these are the ones I've been. Well, these aren't. This is a new one that just came in. It says "Be Instrumental," and that's kind of cool because I'm an instrumental musician. If you guys didn't know that. And this one here is actually Jesus in Spanish. And then this one here, it's actually Jesus in Spanish. And this one here is actually Jesus in Japanese. And this one here is kind of fun because this is actually Yeshua. Yeshua is what Jesus was actually, his name is actually Yeshua, which we have Joshua today, but Yeshua was actually the Hebrew name, and now it's the Arabic name for Jesus. And this here is actually Jesus, and I think I did Spanish, so this one would be English. And let's see. Oh, also have it in French, which is kind of cool. Any language that you want. And then this is kind of cool too. And this is, I really appreciate these. This is the Underground Gospel Show. I don't know if you can see that whole thing. But it's the same thing that's on the card, but it's on the back of the shirt, and it has a little shield on front. And I was wearing this the other day, and it felt so cool having the shield here. It's like Star Trek. And then I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, dude, I look like a cop because they wear shields on their shirts. And I never realized that. You know, you kind of do things sometimes, and you're thinking, well, this might be a good idea. And then you're like, wow, I guess it is a good idea because, like, the cops do it. So anyway, and the back of these shirts all say nightmusic.com. So if you get one, you're like, well, I didn't know it was going to say Night Music on the back. Well, you can't say that now because I just told you. So anyway, a couple of these I'm going to wash so that they're used for displays because I'm not really selling merch. Everything's going to be sold online. I was recommended not to do that. But as you know, I don't really do a lot that I'm recommended to do because a lot of times things that work for one person doesn't work for everybody, and the music industry is kind of fun because there's no template. You know, there's really no way. I had an artist one time who said, "Well, I don't want to be your guinea pig," and I kind of laughed at that because then he went off to do house concerts, which is cool. I mean, that's not a problem, but I know he wasn't making a fraction. I know he wasn't making a month what I make a week. And so not that, money's anything, because the truth of the matter is you want to be happy with what you're doing. So anyway, If you like what you hear, remember to subscribe. And we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, whichever your favorite channel is. Support what I'm doing. You can go to the tip code. In fact, I have a little tip code. I'm going to put that up right now. I'm going to put the tip code up. And so basically, if you hold your phone over that little bug that just appeared right there, right there, right there. If you hold your phone over that little bug, it'll actually take you to PayPal, and you can drop a ducat or two in. I really appreciate it. It'll help for gas tomorrow, but don't worry about it. I'm making so much money. It's ridiculous. It's funny. I love what Willie Nelson said. He said that his greatest fear is that people would find out he would have done it for free. And I totally understand what he's saying, because, it's not a fear of mine, but I when you love something that you do so much, you'll do it for free. If you go to mynightmusic.com, you can go get show times and links and garments that I just showed you and lyrics for the song. And you can contact email and live show information like tomorrow. I'll get into that in just a second. And how to support me with monthly donations for about a cup of coffee. And we're going to start a new thing. And it's going to be on Patreon. It's going to be a monthly subscriber, and it's going to be a closed group. It's going to be a closed group on Facebook, and you can only get in there by being a monthly subscriber. You stop subscribing, we kick you out we'll give you a month or two to catch up, because I know sometimes things happen. It's called life. Anyway, so we're going to have this, and then the idea is that every month we'll go through a couple different topics. One of the topics will be something that works in the music industry, because as you guys know, I've had a few record deals in my life, and I've toured on every continent of the planet except for Antarctica, and I know how to book shows. That's why I'm doing the shows tomorrow. Actually, probably a good time to talk about that. But anyway, so that's the whole idea of this secret Discord group. I mean, it's not a secret group. It's just a closed group. It's a private group. And the information given in there is just for the group itself. It's going to be about music. It's going to be about, and I really hate saying this, but I've overcome a lot of things in my life. I've been addicted to a number of drugs. I've had some really, really horrible relationships that I've been able to get out of. There's been some personal challenges, death of both of my parents while I was very young, and grief and depression, lots of things that I've had to deal with in my life. And I think the really cool thing is I'll be able to share a lot of this and how I got through some of these things. So hopefully it will give you some tools out there if you're out there dealing with. I've had a lust addiction in my life. I've had drug addictions in my life. I was addicted to tobacco for a long time. I've had problems with alcohol. Why am I still here? And so part of it will be about probably like a recovery, like a 12-step recovery, but a 12-month recovery. We'll also go through things like the artist's way, and we'll talk about how to get in touch with your creative self and your creative, because we were created by a creator to be creative. And so I'll give you some ideas on how to tap into your creativity and how to basically, for lack of a better word, monetize it, because the bottom line is, your landlord needs rent. And so if you just think how wonderful it would be if you could monetize the things that you love doing, and that way you don't actually have to go to work. You just do what you love and you get paid for it. So that's some of the things that we'll be describing and discussing. Plus recovery information and music business, and the business of music. And let me just get into that real quick, and then I'll start some music here. But music business has two parts, music and business. In fact, show business, the first thing of show is first thing in show business is do a show. So that's why we do live shows. But to play music, there's three parts, and that's going to be practice, rehearsal, and performance. And practice is what you do by yourself, because the beginning of success is as you see. So you always have to suck before you become successful. So there's a suck factor to learning anything new, and especially new music. And so you will learn You'll practice, and then you have performance, and that's when people can come hang out. And you haven't owned the songs yet, but you're about to play them. And if you watch my earlier tapes, my earlier recordings, you'll see a lot of practice, or that I needed more practice. And then you have performance, and that's when you get out there in front of a crowd and you do what I'm doing now, live streaming, and then playing live tomorrow. And then you have the business part of it, and the business part of it, once again, has three parts too. Your first part is money. You have to master your money and collect your money and make sure you're on all that. Second part is marketing. You got to make sure people know about you, because the truth of the matter is the people that are being talked about the most are the people that make it in the music business. So you have to master marketing. And the third thing that you do is booking. You have to make sure you're good at booking. And well, somebody just had an idea. Anyway, so those are the three things. And so that's a little bit about what we're going to go into in the Discord on the private Patreon group. Anyway, about shows. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about the shows. Tomorrow we're opening at 10 a.m. We're going to be in Lebanon, Tennessee. It's not Lebanon, even though it's spelled that way. It's Lebanon. And we're going to be at the Needy Jacob Festival. And they were hit hard by the tornado last year. And so about 2/3 of their buildings got destroyed. And so they're doing a fundraiser, and they weren't able to have the festival last year, but Needy Jacob's house still stood. But they're having the festival, and they've asked me to open it. I'll go on before the outhouse races. So that's a thing. So I'm looking forward to finding out what kind of thing that is, even though I might know. Anyway, then at 4 o'clock, I drive from there, and I drive about an hour and a half, and I go to Red Boiling Springs, where they're having the Folk Medicine Festival, and I'm actually headlining, closing down that show at 4 o'clock. So I go on right before they close it all down. So it's kind of cool. I open one festival and I close another, and then I'm back here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I book it back after that show, and I have about an hour and a half to get here, set up the show, and do another show for you tomorrow night and give you a report on how great it was. It's going to be awesome. So so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I have 2 shows, and we have shows booked for the whole year. I mean, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, this is episode 35, I believe, of the Underground Gospel Show. And I don't sing, as you guys have probably realized, and that's so that God can speak directly to your heart. We have sponsorship information, but nobody's sponsored us yet. But the cool thing about these is on YouTube, it lasts forever. So, if you sponsor me, that ad right now, I don't know how many people are looking. Let's see, probably 2 or 3, or I got one set of eyeballs. But I have people all throughout the week that, man, I saw your show. Hey, I saw your show. And it's not my music. And I'm like, well, that's okay. You're not my demographic. But it's okay. It's like, I like Van Halen. I'm like, so do I, but I'm not that type of music. Anyway, so I'm doing something different. And if you would like me to come to your city or your church, or you're having an event, I'm doing a couple weddings. I'm doing some private shows. And so, hey, that's what it's all about. So, and I'm doing some public shows tomorrow. So now that I'm done with all the housekeeping, and I'm about 15 minutes into today's show, how about we do some music? How about see. You know what? Let me go ahead and turn off that bug, and that way you can see my little fingers play. Let's see if I can get that done. Let's just go right into it. Yes, yes, yes. Holy, holy, holy. We're also going into the studio, not this week, but next week. We're going to start going in the studio for about the next 5 weeks, minus one that I'm just, there's not a chance I can get. And I'm not going to have any breathing room at all from June 20th to the 28th, I think, because of another commitment. Needless to say, but the 2 weekends before that, and the 3 weekends after that, I'm going to be in the studio and doing a new album. Now, the problem with Amazon, the problem with their tune with DistroKids and uploading to Amazon and iTunes and stuff like that, is they're still stuck in the record format. They want you to have a record to put up there. If you do individual songs, they love that, but each individual song they list as a record. And so they're still stuck in the last millennium. That's okay. They're 20C people, but I'm a 21C like musician. So what I'm going to be doing is creating albums called playlists. So you'll have playlists 2-1, which get it to 1. It's year 21, but it's 2-1. And then every year I'll release a new playlist, or I might release 3 or 4. Depending on what they are, I might do one of patriotic songs, one of children's songs. So, but I'll be calling them playlists for whatever. And because I can't create a playlist that I can share, so what I'll be doing is I'll calling my albums playlists, kind of like Adele names her albums, how old she is, which is going to stop sometime in the mid-30s, I believe. But yeah, so that's the idea that I'm going to be doing. So we'll be going to the studio. So I need your prayers and support, and not money, but just prayers and good wishes and happiness and everything. So it's funny. I was talking to a friend, Don Navarro, who's over at the Screen Actors Guild, and he was mentioning his brother, of course, is Dave Navarro, but he was mentioning the fact that when he does his live stream, he keeps telling people, "Please don't send me money." His big hit was what was it? It's a Pat Benatar song about the children. But anyway, the song will come to me in a second. Needless to say, he keeps telling people, "Please don't send me money," and they still do. So, actually, at this point, you can send me money. I won't mind it. I won't turn it down because we still got gear and gas and stuff like that to get, but it's coming in. So. It was funny. The other day, I got a check download into PayPal from I think it was Amazon for $1.83, $1.83. So at least people are listening to my music somewhere and downloading it. So God bless you, whoever that is who's doing it. Or the few of you, I guess, because you only make like 9/1000th of a cent or something. So for me to make almost $2, that's a lot of people that listened. I've got a few, a couple dozen. Anyway, so and I gotta apologize. I did the pre-show and I listened to it, and I was really disturbed by the sound that I had on the guitar. It's not the tone that I want to have. And so I'm still trying to work out the tone issues, you guys. So I found out the fact that the Windows buffer that I have automatically defaults to its internal speakers, even though I'm running a external device. And so this is so cool. I hope that this firefly lights up in front of you guys. Oh well, he's taken off, because it'd be cool to have lighting effects that are actually bugs. Anyway, don't know where I was going with that. I was thinking of a guy by the name of Tommy Emmanuel, who's going to be in town at a conference a month from now, a month and 3 days from now, and hopefully I get to go to this conference. The goal is for me to go to this conference somehow. But the thing is, life happens for us and not to us. So I'm really hoping that I can get there and get to hang out with him and Ben Levy and Muriel Anderson, and a whole bunch of other people who I've always looked up to and enjoyed having somewhat of a relationship with, if not a close friendship, at least a acknowledgement of each other. And I do look up at them with fanboy eyes. So anyway, actually, you know what? They might just see that on this. I'm so safe. There's not a chance of them ever watching this, so I'm good. I'm going to do a song that this is written by Mozart. Yes, you guys should be clapping away. I got to tell you, it's going to be great to be out there and playing in front of people. The best part about it, I believe, also is being able to underground or to be able to advertise this show right here. And the reason why is I've been talking to a couple of people who watch, who's been watching, and they're like, one person was like, my biggest problem is I can never find anybody to go to shows with, because I want to go see this, and the friends are just like, yeah, I don't want to go, and so they don't go. And so then about three people I've talked to are like, yeah, I don't ever go to shows. I'm kind of an introvert. I don't like to leave the house, but I love watching your show. And it's like we don't get to watch it on Friday or Saturday night because they have other commitments that they do also. But we watch it later on during the week. And that's why when I go back to my YouTube, I'm like, I had 17 views. Doesn't sound like a lot, guys. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. Sorry, itching my ear. But when you do a room when you're just starting out and you have 17 people, you are so stoked. And and the thing is, I literally see a time in because I've talked to people, and they're like, it takes about 500-600 shows before you build up that crowd, but you will build up a crowd of 2,000-3,000 people watching you every single performance, and it's like, well, here's another one under the belt as we move on. I've mentioned this next song a couple of times. This is part of a Mariology. This was actually a song written in the 12th century. In fact, I had a guy, so cute, this guy the other day, who was so awesome. He's like, yeah, watch a couple of your old shows. And if you're watching this, Stephen, I love you, man. I really do. I'm so glad that you're at work. I'm so glad you're the light, that you bring the light that you do, that you stand and represent the way you do. Man, you really are an awesome, awesome, awesome man of God. And I just so appreciate you being where you are and what you do. But he said, you play a lot of old stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And the reason why is because I don't pay for any of the licenses. This is all public domain. And he goes, yeah, I'm not really, I don't really like that style. And I'm like, well, that's okay. Because, I didn't want to tell him, but you're not really my demographic. But anyway, I just, I love, and you're not. I mean, I don't expect you to support me at all. But I love the fact that we're friends, if that makes any sense. So I think I can have friends of mine that they know the fact that I'm not at their show tonight. There's some people going on at a show up in Nashville this evening. I'm not there because I'm doing my own show. So they totally get it. Anyway, so this is a song that was written for Mary back in the 12th century. And it was part of a 4-part Mariology written by a group of sect of Catholics called the Mariologists. And it survived and became the doxology for priests for their benedictions at their passing. In the 1880s, it was given the new lyrics and translated from Latin into French, and then from French into English and given a new name, and it's now called Hail Holy Queen. It also became popular in the Whoopi Goldberg movie in 1996 called Sister Act. But this is called Hail Holy Queen, or its original name was Salve Regina. Salve Regina, Hail Holy Queen. And I think that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I can't believe I did like 4 songs. And I chit chatted the entire time, but we got so much to talk about. Oh, there's so many great things going on. Maybe, hold on, I need a cough button. I don't have a cough button, but not COVID, not COVID, just air. And so maybe I should extend this into an hour, because I'm literally 4 songs and I have pages of songs, because I'm going to be trying to do the set tomorrow. I've rehearsed it a bunch this week, and so I was hoping to rehearse it tonight, but no chance of that. So let's see. Oh, I also need a sneeze button, so I need a cough button and a sneeze button. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to roll credits. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for holding your phone over this little QR code right here and, sending us a cup of coffee, sending me a cup of coffee. It's not us. It's basically me at this point. I'm hoping I had some interviews today or this week. I was hoping to have some interviews, and they didn't show up. They texted me about 3 times, going, "Well, does it pay?" I'm like, "Well, of course it pays." "Well, how much does it pay?" And it's like, "Well, first I have to see if I'm hiring you." I mean, it kind of doesn't work like, "Hey, you have the job already." I have to meet you and find out if you're going to work. And so, they never showed up for the interviews. So, okay, there you go. I guess they do that. I don't know. That might be a thing that you do now. It's like, well, I need to know what your payers and your benefits and where your bathrooms are. And, can I come in late before I come in for the interview? So if that's the case, you probably aren't going to work really well with me. And so anyway, they never showed up and I didn't hire them. So we'll be having some help soon. But for right now, when you send that money to this QR code right here, it actually comes to me. And I'll get that dollar or that $3 or that I guess I should, that $300 that you sent for the, I'd like to say it's the ministry. It's not a ministry. Right now, you're just giving a gift to a person. You can write off the gift the same as you can a charitable deduction up to $10,000. Hey, it was just tax time, Anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you here tomorrow night. So that's it for me. Here are the credits. And good night.